welcome back to Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. I'm Zach, and with me today are my good friends. No, that's not right. I didn't update this.
That's right. George isn't your good friend.
That's right.
How dare you call him your good friend?
With me today is my good friend George, and as you've heard, we have a special guest who's also a good friend from Conversations with Robbie Sherman. It's Conversations with. It's Robbie Sherman.
Yeah. I am also technically the only employee at Conversations with, so you're not too far off.
All right. Fantastic. Well, welcome to the show, buddy. I'm glad you could make the time for us.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
This is an interesting movie. I'd never really taken any time to digest.
Me either.
It's Zach's first time too,
Yep.
I think, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is Series 2, Episode 11. This is our MCU adjacent series, so there will be at least one tie-in to that franchise. And today we're talking about American Gangster from October 19th, 2007. We do not have a ranking system for Series 2, but after we discuss the movie, we will give our ratings for the film and whether or not it's absolutely one of the best movies. And I hope the microphone did not just pick up the toilet flush. As a reminder, we assume the listener has seen the movie before, and of course, there will be spoilers. I don't really know how much you could really spoil this movie.
It's based on a true story.
Yeah, it's not like any real big twist or anything, but at the same time, it's not really predictable, I would say.
Well, I don't know. If you've seen your share of cop shows, I think you kind of know how these things play into each other.
Some of it, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Like Josh Brolin's character is pretty predictable.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the movie memories. George, let's have you go first to set the stage for Robbie, and then Robbie, you can go next, and I'll go last.
No problem.
Works.
Sure. I don't really have any movie memories of this except for I think I saw it on Netflix or somewhere streaming, and it looked like a good movie. And I had no idea that the cast was as stacked as it was until actually rewatching it again not too recently. And then when we were doing our MCU adjacent series, I basically kept hitting foul balls with you. And
That's a nice way of putting it.
well, I thought for sure you were going to hate all of them. And then I thought you were going to like, what was the most recent one that we did?
Superman.
That I thought you might actually,
Superman.
Yeah, I thought you might actually like Superman.
I hated it the least.
And you, yes, yeah. You did hate it the least. So I thought this one for sure, because I didn't remember there being anything to really hate about this movie. I thought this one for sure you would like end up liking.
You were correct.
It's because
Spoiler alert.
it's just got so many great people and I didn't even notice people like Norman Reedus in it until the other night.
There's a lot of
when I
good
was watching
cameos
it.
in this.
Yeah. So
Now, this is right before Norman Reedus goes into Walking Dead, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because
okay.
this is 2007, and Walking Dead, I think it was 2009, but still, that's basically right before.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, T.I.'s in this too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
You know, it's 2008 when T.I. shows up.
So, Robbie, what are your movie memories of this? This was your first time, right?
I don't. Maybe at some point I genuinely tried to give this a chance on HBO or sometime within the few years that it came out. I didn't go out of my way to see it in the theater. Bet it would have been cool in the theaters, but I also think around this time that I was pretty burned out by 3-hour movies. So yeah, I'd already been through all the Lord of the Rings and I think I was just burned out on 3-hour movies. So maybe I saw this on HBO or something when we had a free weekend. I didn't remember Carla Gugino being in this, but I bet if I knew she was in this back then, I was probably watching it. But yeah, there's not like a lot of memories. I like Ridley Scott, to an okay degree, though I do think sometimes he's a little up his own ass and self-serious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a decent filmmaker, but goddamn, how many points do you actually have with some of these movies?
Yeah. That's you. Yeah. You pretty much hit the nail on the head there. Well, I can't wait to find out whether you liked the American or the Gangster better.
You know what? I'm going to be a patriot this time around. I like the American the most.
Oh, wow. All right.
All these gangsters are getting up in here messing with my American. It ain't peanut butter and chocolate. I don't need them together. Keep them nice and separate.
So you mentioned it being a 3-hour film, and we talked a little bit about this in DMs, but it seems like you watched the extended version.
Yeah, I just got a copy of this from a buddy. He didn't tell me like if it was the extended version or not. Let's see. I kind of have it playing while we're talking just to kind of keep. I mean, it's 3 hours of shit to keep in your head. So yeah, it's like 255 altogether on this cut I have.
Yeah, I think that is the extended version, because I think what I was watching was like a little more than 2.5, and then what I saw was that the extended version has 18 additional minutes, and and an alternate ending, but it's really more like an extended ending, and we can talk about that in the end. This is also one of the last movies to be released on HD DVD. It was
Really?
It was released the same week that Toshiba announced that they were discontinuing HD DVD.
It caught the last wave.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
it's like a Pokemon game that got on Game Boy Color right when the Game Boy Advance released.
Exactly. So for me, I'd never seen this one before. I love Denzel Washington, so I'm not really sure why I hadn't watched this before. I guess I haven't seen all of his movies, but I feel like this one I would have given a chance. It somehow escaped my radar. I was a little worried that my expectations were too high, given the stacked cast and the history of George liking movies that I don't. I ended up buying it on Apple TV because it was not really streaming anywhere that I had access to, but it was a reasonable price, worth the price of admission. And I watched it about 30 or 40 minutes at a time because it is still a long movie. And so it was a little bit like watching a miniseries to me. And I think that worked well. Actually, I think this could have been broken up into a TV show, but I don't think it didn't necessarily need to be.
I was just going to say, give this another 3 or 4 years and it would have been a TV show. I mean, I just don't think he would have had the same backing for it.
Yeah. I think you're right. Oh, and when we first started it, I thought that I might have actually seen it before, but I think it was just the beginning. I must have seen a clip of it somewhere where I was like, oh, wait, this looks familiar. But the rest of the movie did not.
You don't normally watch movies that start out with people getting set on fire?
No, that was crazy. Actually, the part that I thought I remembered was when Bumpy is throwing out turkeys or whatever. But yeah, that was a. Well, we'll get into the opening in a minute. But I just wanted to warn the listener that while this was a good movie that George picked, it still may have been a bad choice because I just didn't have a whole lot to say about it. It's like, this is good. I like this scene. This is cool. So we'll see how it works. There was also no commentary, which is something that I usually lean on to get some extra talking points from. But I was discussing this potential issue with a listener and friend of mine, Dean. He suggested looking into how much of this is true. And I was like, oh, that's a great point. And so I actually did find quite a number of things about it that were different, and it makes sense why a lot of these were changed. So I have a lot of, I'm calling them producer Dean notes. I'm going to give him an honorary producer credit on this show. So we'll have something to say for sure. And my first producer Dean note is that everyone was way older and way uglier than they are in this movie.
Yeah, this movie had a lot of good-looking people in it, man.
Yeah.
You got to sex people up if you're going to make a movie like this. They know where the money's at, unfortunately. You're never going to get a gangster movie where people are actually as ugly as the gangsters are portraying. I mean, that can't happen with the money they throw into these things.
What about Dick Tracy? Like I said, those are not actual gangsters.
Well,
in
yeah,
real life.
like those are not actual gangsters. Those are like cartoon characters.
Right.
And they do a pretty good job of making them look like real life cartoon characters.
So, George, you're leading this one. Do you want to start here, or do you want to start at the movie discussion? You want to start here with the credits, or
Yeah, I can start
Okay.
here. Mostly because, I want to breeze through the credits, since I think just by going through who the real heavyweights are, or who the heavyweights are in the first place. But I guess starting with Ridley Scott, I think it was kind of amusing to me thinking that we started with just the last two movies have also been Ridley Scott movies, and finally we get this home run. And I don't really think there's really anything to say about Ridley Scott, since I think we've covered him in the last two movies.
It makes it MCU adjacent. And then, but let's Robbie, if you have something,
That's Robbie. Yeah.
I was just going to say, you're really giving Ridley Scott a whole ton of advertising on this podcast. Like, man,
well,
free advertising
he sponsors
for him.
The show.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the movie he made right before this one is.
It's a good question. We could probably look it up.
Oh shit. Maybe Gladiator? No. He did Hannibal in 2001.
Ew.
Okay, there's Black Hawk Down.
That's a
There's
good movie.
Matchstick Men, which I actually like way more than this movie. Really good movie.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think I've seen it either. Yeah.
Yeah, Kingdom of Heaven comes in 2005, and that's God, I don't know anything about Kingdom of Heaven. I don't think I've ever bothered to.
I don't remember that one either.
I'm assuming it involves a kingdom that is within proximity to heaven.
Stone's throw away, at least.
Yeah, so. Nice little mile walk down the road.
I mean, he does a good job of not pigeonholing himself.
I like Ridley
with
Scott.
the types of movies he makes, that's for sure.
He's got some good stuff. Sometimes I think he's a little self-important, and for people who care about intersectionality, I don't think he has a whole lot to add to those kinds of conversations. Unfortunately, I mean, he's had a lot of power for a long time. He's responsible for Alien, one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made, a film that's so good they still haven't made a sequel, in my opinion, that lives up to the original.
No, totally.
Nope.
That's been our consensus.
I don't
so
even
far.
hate them. I don't even hate the Alien sequels, but they don't live up to the original.
Nope. Let's just move on to the writers. Steven Zeilen, who I had no idea who he was, but when I looked him up, he's done a lot of big shit.
Yep.
Like, he directed Searching for Bobby Fischer.
Yep.
He wrote The Irishman, which is another, I think it sounds like it's another gangster movie, but I haven't seen that.
That's like Martin Scorsese's
movie.
Yeah, that's like Martin Scorsese wrapping up his career in gangster movies.
Yeah.
Was it good?
I didn't.
I have it bookmarked to watch, but
I didn't care enough.
It's been reviewed well. I watched maybe the first 20 minutes of it, and I was like, I don't think I want to sit through the rest of this. So I gave up on it.
Wow. But this guy's also written the adaptation for The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Moneyball, which I liked also.
Good movie.
Gangs of New York.
Yep.
Hannibal.
Yep.
Schindler's List.
Laugh Riot.
Aaron. Yeah. I mean, I didn't hear about that one. Clear and Present Danger. I'd heard. I only wrote down the ones I'd heard of.
I just meant Schindler's List is a Laugh Riot. That's the ongoing joke.
Laugh Riot.
The ongoing bad joke that I won't let go.
And I guess he provided the story for Mission Impossible, the movie that kicked off that entire series. The other writer, I have no idea, is less prolific. I think
I didn't
American Gangster is the only
another
thing.
writer.
Yeah, there's two writers.
This was originally going to be two movies, and
really?
So it's based on Ron Chapesiuk's book Superfly: The True Untold Story of Frank Lucas, American Gangster. And it was a 170-page script, so they were going to split it up into two. But after like a bunch of, production stuff, it did get trimmed down to this one longer movie. I also forgot to mention that during that pre-production, like long pre-production phase, the original director was going to be Anton Fuqua, and he was fired over creative differences, and I couldn't really find anything on that. I didn't spend a whole lot of time.
I bet he wanted you to think of these people as human beings.
Probably, yeah. And then for a little while, it was going to be Pete Berg as the director.
Who the fuck is that?
Okay, have
Who
you
the
seen
fuck
Battleship?
is Pete Berg?
I've heard of that name.
So he
That's
was
the most,
He's
that's the
an
most
actor.
goddamn white person name I've ever heard in my life. We all put him on the national honky registry. Like, oh my word.
I like him, and like, you know, he just makes like dumb action movies, you know, that are kind of entertaining. So totally bad fit for this, but yeah, he was for those. So it's good that they landed on Ridley Scott in the end.
Yeah, thank God. Jeez. Actors wise, I don't know who else they had teed up, but
Will Smith.
Wait, really?
Yes, that was my note here. It was like Will Smith was considered at one point as a replacement for Denzel. Like they were going to get rid of Denzel. I don't know. Like that's the way it was.
Really?
That's the way it was phrased. But
oh my God, that would have been.
It would have been awful. I cannot take him seriously in dramatic roles. Like he just needs to be the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and leave it at that.
I wonder if like him not being able to get this movie led to his big I don't cuss and I'm still a gangster kind of stuff like within the few years preceding this, because he had I had a whole album talking about how, you know, the rap game is all dependent on, you know, sexuality and cussing and being you know, being tough. He doesn't need to do that stuff.
I didn't realize
Slick Willie does it clean.
I didn't realize that he carried that into his acting career, but that makes sense.
Oh, no. He, yeah. Wow. It was like his whole music career for like a couple of years was just him like constantly talking about how all these other rappers are dirty rappers.
Right.
He did it without being a dirty.
I learned that from Eminem. Eminem's got the line like, Will Smith doesn't have to curse in his raps to sell records. Well, I do, so fuck you, or something like that.
Well, yeah, fuck him. I say so too.
That's the line. Fuck him and fuck you too. That's what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, going on.
I thought you were joking.
No, I wish I was joking.
That's a real thing.
This movie would have turned out so differently with Will Smith, I think. Anyway, so the guy who did get the role, Denzel, plays Frank Lucas, the main protagonist. I thought he did an awesome job.
He's phenomenal in everything. Like even in like those Equalizer movies, which I feel like diminishing returns, but he's selling it. I don't know. I love Denzel. I've never seen him. I've seen him in bad movies. I've never seen him be bad in a movie. He's great.
Okay. Do you know what my favorite Denzel Washington movie is?
Deja Vu. No.
Oh my, no, not that one. No.
Virtua.
Fuck, I can't remember the name of it now. I only like it so much because it's such a weird anomaly. It's this movie where Bob Hoskins plays a racist cop who dies and is then like his spirit ends up in the body of Denzel Washington.
Is it Fallen?
I don't think it's Fallen, but
okay, because Fallen is like the spirit goes from one person to another, and Denzel Washington's in that, and it's got John Goodman in it too. But I don't remember Bob Hoskins being in that. So
no, I gotta find this because this movie is just like sheer racist trash, like racist cop trash, like just nonsense. Fucking hell, what is the name of this movie?
Hoskins is the Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that guy. And he's like a tough LA cop or something like that in this movie. Oh man, it's they used to play it on Comedy Central, and when I would watch it on Comedy Central, I was absolutely astounded by how ridiculous it is.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out.
But was Denzel bad in it?
Oh no, he's awesome. I mean, he's Denzel Washington, but the thing is, like, it's just a crazy movie. Let's move on. It's not that interesting.
Well, I think another good reason why this movie worked really well was that Russell Crowe was pretty amazing in it too, as Richie Roberts, the main protagonist here, who happens to also be an MCU adjacent link. As MCU's Zeus. And another MCU adjacent link is Chiwetel Ejiofor. I keep messing up his name.
I can't do it either.
I can't do it either. It's okay.
One quick note, producer Dean note here. Richie Roberts is a real guy who did work on the Frank Lucas case, but in the movie he's more of an amalgamation of a lot of different detectives. So rather than have like 20 characters or whatever. Also, this was originally going to be Benicio del Toro as Richie Roberts, which would have been interesting.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I thought Russell Crowe did great, but they're both great actors. Couldn't have been a bad choice there.
Yeah, Benicio in Sicario.
Yeah, good movie.
He's pretty badass. Yeah.
But anyways, Chiwetel Ejiofor as
plays Huey Lucas, Frank Lucas's younger brother.
In the news?
Yeah, no, Huey Lewis. But yes, Huey Lucas. Who plays Baron Mordo in the MCU.
He's great in everything.
Yeah, I think I pretty much like most of his stuff too.
Who is he? Like, I don't remember the character's name, but I really like him as like the main antagonist in Serenity, which I'm sure we talked about when he was in.
Oh, right.
When he was in. When we covered.
I figured out
Doctor
what
Strange.
this movie is. Heart Condition.
Oh,
Heart Condition.
I think I've seen that. That sounds really familiar.
And Denzel Washington dies, and he dies and ends up in the body of Bob Hoskins' racist cop.
Oh my God! I think I'm not positive, but I think that is an updated remake of this movie that I can't remember the name of though. But it's like where a black guy's head is sewn onto the body.
Racist man. Yeah, it's like a black exploitation film, and it's like the brother with two heads or something like that.
Yeah. So I think that this is like an updated remake of that of Heart Condition. Is okay. I gotta look into that later.
Yeah. Now I want to see this Heart Condition movie.
It will shock and offend.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, so how do we feel about the opening scene? Because I think it's pretty goddamn dynamic and catches your attention right from the get-go.
It definitely does. Wait, we're not done with credits though.
Oh, okay, my bad. I didn't know how long we were spending on this.
A little bit longer.
Yeah, I'll try to speed run through it since
it's only been half an hour.
Yeah, because just Russell Crowe and Denzel, man. But another MCU adjacent character, Josh Brolin, plays Detective Trupo, who is a corrupt ass cop. Idris Elba, Tango, also an MCU adjacent link as Heimdall. Tango is I don't even remember exactly what he was, just like some other competitor.
Gangster.
Yeah, another gangster. Carla Gugino plays Laurie Roberts, aka Richie Roberts' ex-wife. The RZA, I didn't even realize was in this movie, but yeah, he plays Moses Jones, one of Richie's task force guys.
Wu-Tang Forever.
Yep. And let me see. What do you call it? Norman Reedus is in it, as we mentioned earlier. He's a random detective in the morgue when Richie Roberts goes to identify his dead partner. Common is in it as Turner Lucas, one of his younger brothers. We've got T.I., who plays Stevie Lucas, who's was an aspiring professional athlete and is also Common's son in the movie. Turner Lucas's son.
Mm-hmm. And he was in.
Got Cuba Gooding Jr.
So that's MCU adjacent, right?
Yes, yeah.
MCU Cuba Gooding Jr., a person no one can say anything bad about whatsoever.
That was like my note was like, what happened to this guy? He's like, not as bad as Terrence Howard, I don't think, but yeah, he does have some. He does have some.
He's a little touchy. He's a little touchy.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I saw. I was watching Coming to America with my daughters the other day, and I was like, "Oh crap! Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s in here." He was one of the guys in the barbershop.
You watching that movie with your kids? Isn't that rated R?
Yeah. I mean, I watched Predator when I was 7.
All right. I'm not going to tell you how to parent.
Yeah, I mean, my wife wasn't too happy about it.
I can't imagine she was.
What? Yeah.
That's the kind of movie my dad would give me when I was like 12 and be like, yeah, it's fine.
His kids are not 12.
Yeah.
Yes, my kids are not 12. There was a lot of what? Anyway, moving on from my parenting, irresponsible parenting, the Armand Assante was in it. Assante is in it as Dominic Catano, one of the heads of the mob families and a supporter of Frank Lucas's. John Ortiz Richie's partner early in the movie, who happens to also be an AVP adjacent tie-in
Yep.
as Morales in AVP Requiem. I was wondering why he looked so familiar, and then I realized he was in AVP Requiem.
Yeah.
And then there's also Joe Morton, who plays Charlie Williams, who also happens to be Miles Dyson from Terminator 2.
Yep. Did you get John Hawkes as Freddie Spearman?
No. Oh, he looked familiar, but I did not
From
get
Dusk
him.
Till Dawn. They open when they go in and rob the liquor store, the convenience store.
Yeah.
He's the clerk there. He's great. I love that guy.
Oh.
That movie was like a drug for me from the age of like 7 to 13.
Yeah.
Have you talked about Ted Levine as Lou Toback?
We skipped him. No, we have not. He's great.
Yeah, he's part of the Silence of the Lambs as James Gumb. But more people probably know him as Leland Stottlemyre from the television series Monk. He was Monk's boss. Yeah.
I saw Monk after seeing Silence of the Lambs many, many times. So I was like, whoa, what is this guy doing here? But isn't he also in Heat? Like he's a cop or something. Is he a cop or is he one of the criminals in Heat? But he's also
he's not one of the criminals.
Yeah, he's great.
Yep, he's in Heat. It's right here on the Wikipedia, right at the top. Yep.
Was he like the precinct captain or something, or?
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
That's a good movie. Got to rewatch.
He's also in Memoirs of a Geisha, which I do not see him being in somehow.
Well, he might be like a clientele.
Yeah, that would make sense. A little American getting some strange overseas.
Yep.
All right, now we're at the opening.
Wait, hold on.
Right. Oh, sorry.
I just have a few more things. Clarence Williams III as Bumpy Johnson, uncredited.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know why he's uncredited. Like I feel like he was in. It's not like he walked through the room or he was like always in silhouette or you only heard him on the phone or something. It was really weird. And then let's see. I've talked about a bunch of these already, but there's a bunch of small parts too. I'll talk about those as they come up. Never mind.
Well, here I do want to point out Ruby Dee, who was married to Ossie Davis, and she has just been an icon in ways that a lot of people never actually get to. She's had an Emmy Award, a Grammy Award, an Obie Award, whatever the fuck that is, a Drama Desk Award, and an Academy nomination. Honored with the National Medal of Arts in 1995.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, his mom.
His mom. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And for whatever she's doing in here, she's fantastic.
She was a great mom.
Yeah. She's only in like 2 scenes, but she has an impact, especially the last one I remember her being in. Anyways.
Yeah. I think it's because Denzel does such a good job portraying Frank Lucas, and then he's just so deferential to her as his mom. That she comes off as really powerful.
She's the only one who can get away with slapping Frank Lucas.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, she was about 8 years out from biting the bullet when she made this, so she still had a few good years left after this movie. Thankfully, died at 91. Good long life.
That's a good run. Yeah.
If I die at 40, I'll be happy. I don't need to live that long. Who does?
Same.
Wait, aren't you past 40, Zach?
A little bit. I'm talking about next time around.
Next time around.
Hey, just take it day by day, bud. You'll meet your death someday. I believe in you.
I'll get there someday. I know it.
All right. Should we get to the opening?
Wait, I got one more. No, I don't have one more thing.
Oh,
fire.
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Fire.
Anyway, this opening, I think, captivated me as soon as it started.
Yeah.
It's basically Frank helping his mentor boss, Bumpy, by setting a man on fire in the middle of a street. And the dude is screaming. What else do you do when you're on fire? But he's pretty quickly silenced by Frank Lucas firing off a bunch of bullets into him.
Yeah, he's not completely merciless.
No. But I mean, like, there's like no flinching in Frank Lucas the way that Denzel plays him. He just gets it done.
Yeah.
But yeah, also ballsy as hell, setting somebody on fire in the middle of a street and then shooting him and then not really running away or hurrying away.
Well, back then you didn't have cameras every goddamn inch of the entire city.
True.
You know, you
Yeah.
could kill people in an alleyway, and people would just be like, "Oh, another dead body. What are you going to do?"
That's true.
It sounds sad, but I mean, if you look at like historical documents about city life, it's not far off.
I agree.
Yeah.
A huge contrast in the next scene where Bumpy's giving away Thanksgiving turkeys to everybody in the neighborhood. And then there's another scene followed right after that with Bumpy and Frank at a discount store where Bumpy's complaining about how the personal service and stuff and how this whole buying direct from the manufacturer just cutting out the middlemen like him. And his complaints about capitalism and everything pretty much end when he has a heart attack. And Denzel just kind of stands there.
Oh, what else are you gonna do?
Or Frank Lucas stands there.
Producer Dean note here: Bumpy Johnson actually died in a restaurant, but for the movie they chose to have him die in a chain appliance store because he hated. Like, it was in that scene, he's talking about how he hates the chain appliance stores, basically moving in on his territory, so he can't collect money, like collect the rent, so to speak.
I love the whole bit about him throwing turkeys from a garbage truck.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of looks like a garbage truck to all the people of Harlem. He's this like crime figure who has leveraged his power into charitable events throughout Harlem to disguise the fact that he's living in broad daylight as an intense criminal. And you see this great like bit where Denzel is just watching all of this stone-eyed. Like he's observing, he's learning, you know, he's not necessarily part of the crowd. He's there to, you know, learn what he can while Bumpy's around.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think he knows Bumpy doesn't have a long life ahead of him, so he's ready to fill that vacuum.
Yes. And he does.
Mm-hmm.
At the wake, Frank watches everybody. Not really. Everyone doesn't seem like too many people are mourning Bumpy's passing. But his interaction with Tango, who puts a drink down on a table without a coaster, man, you just know that Tango and Frank are gonna get into it later down in the movie.
Yeah, I wrote Denzel is gonna straight up kill Idris Elba.
Man, what a tall drink of water Idris Elba is in this movie.
Oh,
Dear
yeah.
Lord. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Isn't it nuts though? Like I think physicality wise, presence wise, you'd think that Idris Elba, or I guess Tango, would be the more intimidating person, but that's the way that Denzel plays Frank Lucas. Man,
Yeah.
you just know that Tango's not gonna last.
Right. I also had a good laugh at Joe Morton's expense here with the fake hair and the fake mustache.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that really what his character looked like or something?
Don't know. The ones I did look at, like, they look totally different. Like I said, like a lot of them were like way uglier.
Don't forget, we also have the first appearance of John Polito in this scene, a gangster movie icon. He was Detective Steve Crossetti on the first 2 seasons of Homicide: Life on the Street, and he's done several other things that makes him a acting legend.
He was in this? I totally missed it. The guy from the
did
Crow,
not see that.
the guy from the Crow who runs the pawn shop.
Yeah, he is in that. He's also in The Rocketeer before that.
Okay, wow. I
God
did
bless
not recognize
Dave
him in
Stevens.
this at all.
I missed that too.
Yep. I mean,
Good
he looks
catch.
like himself in this movie. Like he never looks like he's somebody different in this movie.
I mean, he is unique looking for sure.
They don't make men like that anymore. We don't have the same chemicals in our food to make us like that anymore.
So elsewhere, we get introduced to Richie Roberts and his partner Jay. They are trailing a bookie and waiting for They're waiting for a warrant, and they're watching a car, waiting to see whoever's going to come pick up whatever is in the car. They get antsy waiting for the warrant and decide to open the trunk and find a shitload of cash. And I thought it was interesting, Jay arguing that, like, hey, the sensible thing to do would be to keep the money because cops who turn in that much money means that they will turn in other cops, and you basically are a dead man walking if your other cop buddies don't trust you.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked. Like, you have to be crooked in order to not be a pariah. in the eyes of your fellow police officers. Producer Dean note here, by the way, that really did happen. Richie Roberts really did turn in the $1 million and really was a pariah.
Blacklisted, yeah. Well, I mean, ACAB applies back then the same way it does now.
Yes, that's true.
Maybe even more, actually. They had a lot less cameras on them back then.
Yeah.
And did you?
Yeah, it's even more worthy.
Did you guys recognize the bookie at all?
Oh,
No.
Yeah, it's Kevin Corrigan is the guy's name. He's been in a lot of stuff, but the thing I recognized him from mostly was Superbad. He's like throwing the party that they go to. And
oh my God, that fucker.
Yeah. His girlfriend dances on Jonah Hill's leg. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, man. And then I guess elsewhere, we get introduced to Detective Trupo and his boys taking drugs out of the evidence room. And I think there's a voiceover talking about how they basically dilute what they get from the evidence room and then they sell it back to the mafia.
Yeah, what was with that voiceover? It was like only for this scene, and I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this voiceover, but I couldn't tell if it was voiceover or if it was like part of like the next scene. I forget exactly how it played out, but I was like, that's weird. It just seemed
it's kind of part of the next scene because he was talking to Frank Lucas about how like now that Bumpy's dead, like there's all this, they have to deal with all of this like lack of order and all of these like crazy characters, because I think they mentioned Tango at some point too.
Yeah,
in the voiceover.
I think the makeup department or I don't know what a better word for it, but whoever decided on Josh Brolin's look here did a great job because he just looks like an asshole crooked cop. I mean, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, he does a good job playing it too.
Yep. And then they take the heroin, right, and they cut it with lactose, which I was going to make a joke like, what if you're lactose intolerant? But that was actually a legitimate concern. Like, it's not as bad as fentanyl, but
so what did you cut it with today?
While you're high?
What did you cut it with today? Oh, we cut it with lactose. God damn it, Jimmy! I'm lactose intolerant. Yes, what are you doing here? I need a nice clean high. I don't need to be on the toilet all day.
Need a refund is what you need. The last conversation seems to inspire Frank. After hooking up some veterans with some of his stash, he realizes that he's onto something if he can get some drugs out of Vietnam. And there's a cool little like travel prep montage or something where he's preparing his passport and getting everything lined up so that he can travel to Bangkok.
Did we? Oh, we skipped over something. The part when Idris Elba pays Frank a visit in is it in the restaurant? But I don't know.
In the cafe.
Yeah. And he's like, you gotta pay the rent or whatever. Like he's saying, something about 20%, blah blah blah. And Frank finally relents, but I didn't realize that this is where the "my man" meme came from. He does a "my man" like 7 times in this movie, and it's great every time.
He's my man. I think I realized it meant either you're dead or like awesome. Like
could go either way.
It could go either way with Frank Lucas.
Okay, so at this point in my life, the Denzel Washington meme of "my man" has been completely eclipsed by the Rick and Morty meme, where you get the fake mail delivery person, and they're just like walking in a circle, going, "My man,
my man. So slow down, my man, looking good."
Oh man. Where do we go? Oh. We find out that Richie's wife is leaving him and taking his kid, and they are walking in a park, and some annoying kids at the park are pretty much give us an interesting glimpse of what Richie Roberts is like and how kind of unstable and unhinged he can be. And he's supposed to be the good guy, which is kind of funny because you look at Frank Lucas and he's just calm, cool, and collected. And even when jerks like Tango are totally fucking with him, like in the previous scene, the that cafe scene. And so it's just kind of like this interesting good guy. Is the good guy really a good guy? Is the bad guy like? It's hard not to like Frank Lucas.
I was rooting for him
with Denzel playing him, and you kind of just don't want him. Yeah.
Oh,
you don't
man.
want Richie to really catch him because he just seems like such a great guy.
Yeah, when it comes to the politics of this movie, I'm always rooting for the black entrepreneur that makes good compared to the shitty, like, wealthy cop that obviously had enough money to become a, attorney as well as be a cop, yeah.
And he had $1 million right in front of him.
With the divorce court scene, producer Dean note here, Richie and his wife didn't actually have kids, so there was never any divorce court thing. I just want to back up for a minute because Frank goes to the jungle to get the deal on getting some pure heroin, basically. And again, producer Dean note, according to the real Frank Lucas, he really did go to the poppy fields in Southeast Asia. And then I didn't realize this from the movie. It did happen in the movie, I guess. I didn't go back and check. But while I was looking into that, Lucas dressed up as an Army lieutenant colonel for that.
Oh,
yeah, he had a machine gun and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
Whatever valor there was in Vietnam.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to shit on any veterans.
No, that's there's a lot of complications with that aren't solely on the veterans.
Yeah.
But I do love the Vietnam stuff. Like, I love the color of the Vietnam stuff. Like, they show like an American GI getting off on heroin, like in the middle of the sex club. And yeah, like Lucas knows he's in his element and he's seeing what the benefits going forward for his business will be, not only like on his home turf, but what he can get away with all these like corrupt individuals. Like that.
Yeah, totally. But part of the reason I like this movie so much, I think, is because two of my favorite movie subgenres are drug movies, specifically heroin drug movies, and non-movies. And so they get a little bit of Vietnam in here, and definitely plenty of heroin.
Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't started a Apocalypse Now Rambo adjacent series.
Well, we've got years ahead of us, George.
I mean, I've never been to Vietnam. I can't say I have any local understanding of how things function, but from everything I've seen in media, I think they did a really good job on the open, like, street sets of things. Just people are surrounding everybody. Like, it's a busy, full city when you see cityscapes. Yeah.
Actually, you weren't jumping ahead, Zach, because I was about to get to it. Where
I'm sorry.
Frank flew to Bangkok.
Okay, sorry.
I had my. He meets his cousin.
Yeah.
No worries. It gets kind of confusing because they cut between Richie and Frank pretty fast in some of like these scenes are like pretty short.
Right.
And then they were just kind of interjecting they were just kind of switching back and forth between the two. But yeah, Frank ends up in Bangkok, meets up with his cousin. His cousin introduces him to the Chinese general who can he basically secured a direct supply to 100% pure heroin. And to your point earlier, Robbie, it's funny because Frank isn't exactly running around like a drug dealer. He's like this entrepreneur with like the hustle, the startup culture hustle that you see all over the place right now, where he's in there negotiating with like I think the general's like henchmen, and then he's negotiating directly with the general, and he's just doing whatever he needs to do, checking out the quality of the product, just doing what he needs to do to realize this vision that he has of like, hey, I can dominate if I can get this shit back to the States with me.
Such a cool cucumber, like the way he acts with everything. Like he dominates a room with subtlety. It's so cool to experience.
Yeah, he has like the best lines. Like when the general was like, who are you working for? He's like, nobody. He's, well, how are you gonna get it over there? He's like, not your problem.
Yeah.
He's like, well, who are you?
Do you want the money or not?
Yeah. The guy's like, who are you? Well, it says it right there on my passport, Frank Lucas. It's just like,
it's great.
Cool as shit. Yep. Yeah. So that's basically the birth of Blue Magic. And I I didn't realize that this was a real thing. I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And producer Dean note here, it was not 100% pure when Lucas got it. It was like 98-ish%, but I think that's
That's still
realistic.
high.
It's really hard to get something 100% pure.
Yeah.
And then, but he didn't distribute it uncut. It was cut. It was down, like cut down to like 10%, but I guess most of the heroin on the street those days was like 5%. And I feel like if you did distribute it at 100%, you run the risk of everybody ODing because they're so used to
Right.
having to take, a certain amount.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was smart enough to recognize he would have killed off half his clientele
Yes.
if he had sold it at 100.
Right.
So that was a movie. That was just a movie thing to say like it's 100% pure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The scenes where you kind of see the native people like cutting this stuff up, like the set
Oh, those
design is so good. I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
feast for the eyes.
Yeah.
The whatever makeup they had to do on people's arms too when they were shooting up and everything.
Yeah.
I could not cringe.
Yeah.
Oh
watching
yeah,
it.
That stuff drove me crazy. I hate needles.
That's why I like
Yeah.
movies about heroin addiction though. It's like it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to look at, and I don't know. I'm just like I'm fascinated by it, but it's not something that I want to do myself.
What's your
Right.
favorite heroin movie? Trainspotting. I don't look down on you if so.
It's a good one. I'm trying to. Can't even think of many off the top of my head. What's the one with Jared Leto? That's one I will never watch again because it was so uncomfortable.
Jared Leto.
You're talking about that new He-Man movie, aren't you?
Probably.
Hey, Zach already pre-ordered his tickets.
Could also be that. I can't think of the name of it, but a Darren Aronofsky movie.
Yeah, the one that has
Requiem for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream. That's it. Yeah,
and I think that's the one that has a lot of parallels to Blue Velvet. I think is the name of that anime movie. Yeah, I feel like an idiot. I used to know this.
I think Blue Velvet is a.
No, that's a David Lynch
that's
film.
It. Yeah, I think I was like, now I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah.
But, and then like The Wire, like the 4 or 5 seasons of The Wire, which was all about heroin in Baltimore. That's amazing. I love all that. Anyways, where were we?
We are at Richie getting a phone call in the middle of the night to go save his partner, who apparently shot a drug dealer in the projects, and the neighbors are basically have the place surrounded, demanding to know what the hell's going on. And since no backup is coming, Richie actually is pretty brilliantly comes up with the idea of putting the body. I wrote.
Like, really smart plan here. It's great.
Yeah, and then opening the guy's eyes.
Yeah, there's the fake that this guy isn't dead.
Wait, so was that this producer?
I did not real thing? See that part, but of note when I was researching this on Dean's suggestion, one of Richie Roberts' partners really was a junkie, but I couldn't find anything on whether or not they had to fake this thing, or if his partner had actually OD'd later on. Spoiler alert.
I mean, the whole point of it is to show that Richie has people who he can't trust and rely on. You know, like the whole point is to show that Richie is also dealing with the incompetence of his local police force as much as the people who are under them.
Yeah.
And it's his partner too, like somebody you're supposed to be able to trust too. Yeah, that whole scene in the ambulance where he was like, I just need you to back me up and follow my lead. And then he was like, no.
He's just like a drooling maniac. It's really well done. I don't know if that's realistic, but I love it. And then he jumps out of the ambulance.
He jumps out of the ambulance.
It was kill or be killed, man. You know how it is.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Right. I love like how smug he is. Like he's just such a smug piece of shit. Like
I guess he was his mentor too, right? Because he was saying just like you taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the next scene, Frank gets his 100 keys from some military MPs and gets the heroin tested, and it is as pure as was promised. And he's happy enough that he lets the guy testing it take off with a brick. And black magic is born. The whole drug montage here
blue magic
is really blue magic is born. Yeah. That whole drug montage that happens here, man, are just
There's a
really
few good montages in
got
this
to me.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like overly, it's not like, I don't know, it wasn't gratuitous. It was just kind of just enough for
Yeah.
me.
I agree.
Yeah, I
But,
think this movie is very good about balancing like actual real life color with a need to not necessarily be gratuitous. I mean, it could have been a lot
Yeah.
worse, you know, and I think Ridley Scott has done a few things that are a lot worse. I also wanted to mention that right before we get to that montage, there's a little talk with Denzel and an accountant like type of guy. I'm pretty sure this actor plays Kingpin's aide in the new Daredevil season. He's
Oh,
just like 20
Oh, wait,
years
what?
younger and, you know, a lot thinner. Yeah.
interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. So,
While boning his lawyer, Richie gets a call that he has to go to the morgue to identify
answers it.
his ex-partner. Yeah, he answers it while he's
Yeah.
boning. Yeah.
oh my
I
word,
don't
the
know if I
way
could do
the
that.
way they're boning, like, come on, guy, you don't have to do this. You're
Yeah.
not in front of a camera. You don't have to show off.
Maybe
This is like mid 2000s porn boning, you know? It's not like 70s boning where you got a nice couch.
maybe that's his kink, and that's the only way he can get off, though. It's like if somebody doesn't call
But, like-
me in the middle, I can't finish.
I gotta lift her up and have the call happen when I'm lifting her on the counter. That's where the climax happens.
It's real specific.
But yeah, like, but Richie Roberts seems to just be pulling tail everywhere in this movie.
Okay, producer D
Doesn't he?
note he did.
Yeah.
So
He did?
he did. He
Oh.
pulled a lot. Well, so the quote was from the guy from Richie Roberts himself. Was that he was not married the entire time that he was working this case, right? And so
Mhm.
he claims. I think if I read this correctly, he claims that he did not cheat on his wife. There was no infidelity there. But while he was single, he was like, you know, it was the late 60s. There was a lot of like peace and love things happening. So he said he boned a lot, essentially.
We were on a break.
Exactly.
They don't show his hospital visits though. I wonder why, but not necessarily a need to ponder on that too much. Let's move on now.
So he goes to the morgue, and that's where we see Daryl. I mean Norman
Yep.
Reedus, or they don't. He doesn't have a name, so he can be Daryl. Detective Daryl is in the morgue, and then Richie gets his first glimpse of blue magic, because I guess that's what his partner OD'd on. Is Lou? Is that his captain? I can't remember exactly what
the Ted Levine
he
character
was. Yeah, the Ted Levine character.
I think so.
Yeah, so he comes by while he's working out and tells him that he's going to be putting him up to lead the Special Narcotics Bureau team here in New York, because none of the other cops trust him and nobody wants to work with him. So he gets to lead up the branch in New York, and he gets to pick his own team of people that he trusts, and they get to have their own headquarters, which I guess is a good thing. Meanwhile, Frank is making a lot of money off Blue Magic, and he calls his family, and he just has everybody move into this brand new, really nice estate.
Yeah.
I guess you can buy whatever you want with good drug money.
Probably a little easier to launder back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty easy now too, right? Can't you just buy like Bitcoin or
Yeah, I
something?
suppose. Yeah.
World
This
Liberty
leads
coin
into
or
a
whatever.
scene where Frank brings his mother to a room in the house that is like exactly like a room at their old apartment they used to live in or something. Yeah, like
with a dresser.
like his
that he
father
made from memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, his father had like died or something, so all this stuff had been lost over the years, and he remade the whole thing from memory. And, you know, it's probably a little outrageous for someone to actually be able to do that, but on a character level, it's a really good way of showing you that this guy has a like sharp, clear memory in his head of how he feels about life at various points. Yeah, it's a great character moment, and Ruby D is so sweet in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do you not root for the guy? This even like, yeah, he's a drug dealer. Yeah, everything came from his drug dealing, but he's disciplined. He like is calm. He takes care of his family. He's really especially takes care of his mom. I
And
mean,
that's a
geez.
good anti-hero trick this thing pulls.
Yeah.
Bad anti-hero writing just makes it to where you have a smug dick you don't want to be around at all. Like
Right.
when you have a good anti-hero, you instinctively want to root for them, even if they do terrible things. I think at this point in time, the drama world has gotten a little tired of the morally gray anti-hero, but I feel like this is a really good example of the morally gray anti-hero and what it can give you as far as complexity and drama.
Speaking of anti-heroes, the next scene has Richie recruiting his entire gang, and they're all at a club getting sweaty and
Sweating to the oldies.
yeah. But it's just I love the duality of it, right? Like you've got Frankie and the scene with Frank and his mom, and then you've got like Richie and his buddies up in a club.
It reminds me of the Al Pacino movie Scorpio, which has fun with the with the dual nature of a police officer who is also somewhat involved in the drug culture underneath the law. Yeah.
This next scene actually ends up being one of my favorites. It's where so Frank is walking down the street telling his brothers about what he's doing. Basically, he's giving them jobs, and he's like, everyone's like, well, what are we selling here? And he introduces them to everybody. Like basically, this is the drug house or the cookhouse, whatever it's called. And he introduces them to everybody, and he does the whole thing where the most important thing in business is honesty, integrity, and family, and never forgetting where you came from. And then he says, "Excuse me for a little bit," and he walks out with that sugar jar that he just emptied, and he just blows Tango away in broad daylight.
I thought he was just going to break it over his face or something, like break that jar over his face.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting for something. I was like, you knew, like when Idris Elba treated him like shit at that funeral or the wake or reception afterwards, whatever it was, you knew that they were going to have at it later on. I was waiting for it, and I did not expect him to actually blow him away in public in broad daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get some crazy TNA because you see a little bit of Frank's operation with all the girls who are half naked doing this. I'm not for sure. Let me ask you something, guys. Are they worried about fabric getting into things, or is Frank just like, I prefer you guys keeping it casual all the time? Because I just didn't understand why they were naked. And I'm not a prude. I don't hate nudity or something, but I do like it to have a form and function.
No,
I think it's like that.
This is based on real operations where I think they had on underwear, like bottoms.
They had bottoms, but they're topless. Yeah, but, they're completely topless.
But it's so they can't smuggle anything out. So and they wear the dust mask so they don't accidentally get high.
that makes sense. And that's a perfectly
I've seen that
reasonable.
in other shows
New
and
Jack City.
movies. Yeah. And I presume that it's true, but there's only so many drug operations I've been a part of. So
okay. Good to know.
One day someone's going to walk into Zach's drug operations and be like, why is everybody naked? And Zach's going to be like, because the movies all have it. That's how they all are in movies. But yeah, Frank walks back. Frank, he put the sugar jar down and he gave Tango his 20%.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, allegedly, according to producer Dean's research, the sponsored research, the guy that Frank killed, he wasn't named Tango. I forget what the actual guy's name was. He was like this really big dude, and he went at Frank first, but he did shoot him on the street in broad daylight. Something I think they said that he shot him 4 times, like in the face, and basically blew out the back of his head.
He shot at Frank first, and then Frank shot him?
Just like went to attack him. I'm not sure about shooting, and then Frank shot him. I like the way it played out in the movie a little better, personally.
Oh yeah, Denzel's way scarier the way that played out.
Oh my God, this little bit where he just like comes back and starts eating again like nothing happened, and his family members are just standing there like, what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? It's so funny.
Yeah, he's like, pass the ketchup. Where's the ketchup?
Yeah.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, he like the look on everybody's face was pretty priceless. Because I don't think they knew what he did exactly, right? Until that moment.
I
Until he
don't
told them.
think so.
But yeah, Richie tells the gang that they're focused solely on the suppliers and distributors, and that they want to basically track the big money, and they all want to know whether or not it was true what they've heard, which is, did he indeed actually turn in the $1 million? And he said, yeah. And I think that cements him as like their leader for the most part. And then we get to Frank meeting his wife Ava at his club when she arrives with Joe Louis, and she is the former Miss Puerto Rico, like a beauty queen, I guess. You get Frank lecturing his brother on, I think a really big lesson that kind of, I think a pretty good big lesson, but ends up biting him in the ass later. And he keeps telling him like the loudest one in the room is the weakest man in the room, and he just basically trying to nail it into his brother that you don't need to be so flashy, and because once you get on people's radars, it's not really a good thing.
Yeah.
I had a bit of a nervous laugh when he's like, if you weren't my brother, I'd kill you. And
Right?
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's going to kill him later. I don't think he ever does. I think in the end, it never gets down to more anything than a beating, but that was good. And then Denzel is so charming when he's talking to Nadine.
Ava?
Is that her name? The Puerto Rican lady, who becomes his wife. But producer Dean note, he did know Joe Louis. He paid off like a lien for him, like $50,000 government lien or something for him. So they were friends, but he actually met his wife in Puerto Rico when he was there visiting one time.
Oh, well.
The
Nice.
song they picked for this little scene is just so good, and this movie has like a really perfect balance of like soul and kind of gritty hard rock stuff happening. It's a really good soundtrack. I mean, I know it's easy for me to like it. This is music that I've been ingrained into liking my whole life, but it's still pretty damn good. They even do this one song. God, what the hell is the name of it? If I think of it later, I'll bring it up. But it's really. Why don't we do it in the road? That John Lennon song from the White Album, and they have like a completely different arrangement for it a little bit earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember liking all the music and the musical choices. The next scene shows us how hard at work the task force guys are. They've got about 2 weeks worth of, I guess, research mapping out all the players in the Blue Magic map, and Richie decides to scrap all of it because he doesn't trust the intel, and he thinks that they need to get back to the basics. So he borrows 20,000 from his captain. They follow the runner and they run into Detective Trupo, who shakes down the runner and grabs his 20K. And yeah, it's a
great scene.
It's funny because I thought they were going to fight, but it was a nice, interesting scene. And Trupo basically tells his guys to give him the 20,000 back, and he says, "Hey, you really should give me a heads up next time, because you can't just be showing up unannounced on our side." And what do you call it? Richie makes a comment about how nice Trupo's car is, and you can tell that he suspects them of being dirty.
I like that. Like right before that exchange, Richie's kind of letting him off. He's like, honest mistake, right?
Yeah.
But then Trupo has to be a dick about it,
right? Yeah, he like Josh Brolin.
He plays the part too well.
He's so good at it. Yeah, and he's smiling too.
Yep.
Frank calls his cousin, and we get a glimpse of how the drugs get from Asia to the Frank's operations. Basically, the general the general supply hits the base. You've got MP guards who are getting paid off that watch the supply until it gets on a plane, and then once it hits the U.S. soil, more personnel come and pick it up, and it gets distributed to all the different businesses that Frank's brothers now head up. And the business is really good. So good that Frank is filling out like just boxes at the bank, just full to the brim of like cash. This is another pretty good scene where at a family party, Huey's driver, who happens to be their cousin, gets too drunk and shoots a cop or something.
Yeah, I
Frank gets
didn't
pissed.
know. It wasn't clear to me.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was a cop or if it was a guy pretending to be a cop. But Frank gets super pissed, grabs his cousin's shoves his head into the piano and starts beating him down with the piano.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking ruthless.
It might be one of the funniest bits in the whole movie. I'm not gonna lie. It's sheer black humor the way they set it up.
But yeah, it's a real glimpse of, I guess, Frank's temper when he just loses it. And I think all the brothers are scared to death of him if they weren't already after they saw Tango get shot down. But he also, I think, the first time you hear him, I think, put down the guidelines that he has for like operations where like nobody can directly talk to him. Like the only people allowed to talk to him are his brothers, and then the brothers talk to everybody else who run the operations.
This was the Simple Simon scene, right? Where he's like, this Simple Simon ass motherfuckers.
Yes,
That's great. Yeah.
Then they get to I think Dominic Catano's house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he strikes a distribution deal that makes him even more rich.
It's just a really good scene of two brilliant actors talking in the most luxurious house you could imagine at the time. Yeah, I mean, it's sumptuous.
They're not like threatening each other, but you can tell that they're feeling for how much each of them can negotiate to do really well out of this business. So Frank marries Ava, and wait, did I skip something? No, this is right.
Just there was the boxing ring thing, but I didn't really have anything to say about that. Just
you know what?
This is getting to that part.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say about the boxing ring stuff. I thought it could have been cut, honestly.
I think the only thing about it was that Frank had the fur coat that his wife gave him, right?
Yeah.
And then that kind of drew the attention of the cops, or he thinks that anyway.
Yeah, I must have gotten it mixed up in my notes, but yeah, the boxing thing was pretty big. He has that chinchilla. I guess his wife gives him the chinchilla coat.
Yeah, boo.
Yeah.
Or
I had to say though,
he breaks his rule though.
Yeah, he's getting loud because he wants to impress her and be a big person in front of her. But the scene where she presents the coat to him when she's like in this little piece of lingerie, I thought it was a cheeky bit of sensuality. That was perfectly fine in the film. That gave it a little bit of levity between some of our harder moments.
Yep. And then but yeah, so I guess he gets to the fight with the hat and the jacket, and his seats are better than Dominic Catano's.
Mhm.
And it's like impossible to miss him, and that's actually ends up being his downfall, right? Because Richie does notice him, and everybody's like, "Who is that?" Because even Trupo notices him because Trupo has seats, and his seats suck, and he's like, "Who the hell is that guy with the chinchilla coat and the hat sitting right next to, like, who has better seats than Dominic Catano?" That puts him on Trupo's radar, and that puts him on Richie's radar. And yeah, it feels like that was basically the turning point for the whole operation. Frank marries Ava, and then Detective Trupo stops by to ruin his wedding day because he actually specifically mentions that, yeah, like you can't just wear a $50,000 chinchilla coat and not make me wonder why you and I haven't had coffee or something. But that pisses Frank off because he knows he fucked up for sure. Or I guess it's verification that he fucked up.
So producer Dean note, the fur coat did not give him away in real life. Like his wife really did buy him a fur coat, but that was not how they got tipped off to him. Although I did not see what did tip them off.
Interesting. Yeah. So he's so mad he sets the chinchilla coat on fire when he gets home, and you can see how angry he is when he's just staring at the fire, and you can kind of see the gears in his head turning. It feels like how he knows he fucked up because that one moment of weakness where he wanted to be flashy, and that you can tell that he's like pissed off at himself.
It's also like a slight to have his wife there. It's a moment to where he is not considering her feelings at all after she gave him this, immaculate gift. And
I mean,
you got,
I think he
she
is considering her feelings. He wants her to know that he blames her.
well, yeah, that too. I mean, okay, yeah, that's probably part of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
But he's
Sorry.
also trying not to take it out on her because he knows it was him that ultimately agreed to put it on. I
Yeah.
feel like.
I mean, he is obviously mad at himself, but he's not going to say that.
Yeah.
We've all been there with our $50,000 chinchilla fur coats.
Yeah, sure. I've had a wife before. Yeah, I've been there. I know where that goes.
But yeah, I don't think Frank. I know Frank Trupo lets Frank know that he's onto him, but Frank doesn't realize that he's also on Richie's radar, because then you get Richie's voiceover running through his schedule, and they seem to know everything about Frank and his brothers now, about how how early Frank wakes up in the morning and who's like which brother is working for which business, and how there's nothing that can stick, and because it's a family run business. And then you get a montage of you've got Frank and his family celebrating Thanksgiving with actual turkey, and Richie's making a gross sandwich.
It's like,
and then you
like tuna fish straight out of the can, potato chips on white bread. It's a pretty sad sandwich.
I mean, it's better than Trupo's Thanksgiving, where a turkey shows up at his door, I guess, and then his car gets blown up. But then you get another montage of victims of the heroin addiction, and it just cuts back and forth to the Frank Lucas's family Thanksgiving, where they're enjoying stuff, and you've got these the victims of their heroin addiction and everything.
So my one, I don't know, continuity gripe maybe here is that this is all in like New York and New Jersey, right?
Pretty sure,
And
yeah.
It's Thanksgiving, so it's like mid-November at the earliest, and it just looks like maybe early fall. There's like,
Yeah.
it's like a nice warm day out.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, 'cause
consider that, but yeah, at most everyone's wearing a light jacket and a long sleeve shirt. Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because around Thanksgiving, it's already snowing, right, over there?
Oftentimes there's
In New
snow
Jersey?
on the ground, or the ground's starting to freeze. Yeah, it's not necessarily, but pretty frequently, yeah. And it certainly is not as going to be a sunny day where you can walk around in a light jacket, as Robbie was pointing out.
Yeah. Frank's nephew Ti has a talk with his uncle, and his uncle's kind of mad that he didn't show up for the hookup that he had gotten him for a ball club for a baseball team. And Ti basically tells his uncle he doesn't want to be a ball player anymore, and that he wants to be just like him. And they're interrupted by Huey coming up to tell him that they have a problem. And so he and Huey head out, and they go to a club, or they go to Nicky Barnes's club. And Frank and Cuba Gooding Jr. Sorry, the look on Nicky Barnes's face. That's the way that Cuba Gooding Jr. plays him is pretty funny.
This is
to
a
me.
great scene. I really like this scene a lot.
Because like you could tell that Nicky Barnes is just trying not to say shit because he's also kind of scared of Frank. But Frank just doesn't give a fuck, and he's basically talking to him and telling him, you can sell it. I don't care. You do whatever you want with it. I get it, but don't call it Blue Magic, because you're fucking with the brand and you're fucking with my brand. And then Nicky Barnes just gets pissed because he just doesn't like the idea of Frank coming into his house and telling him what to do with his stuff. And then nothing ever happens to Nicky Barnes, though.
No,
I feel like
no,
right?
We probably didn't need this scene other than what comes afterwards. But I really immediately afterwards, I mean, like unrelated to what happens in the club. Try not to step on your notes here, but I do like this scene a lot because they're both kind of like have that main character energy. They're both like trying to be calm but threatening at the same time, and it's it's done really well.
I don't like Cuba. I don't want to give Cuba Gooding Jr. too much fucking advertising because he doesn't deserve it. But like the head-on collision between these two power players
that is
on the stage, like surrounded by this like classic 70s go-go dancing type shit. It's a really dynamic scene, even though it doesn't necessarily have some of the depth maybe some other parts of this movie do.
That is a great way of putting it, the head-on collision.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like intense spears of this time, like meeting, and then Frank asserting his dominance over it. I like Frank as this person who's sort of underpinning the culture around him and the tone of it.
Yeah. But Nikki Barnes was also like a competitor, or like, well, I guess a reseller, I guess, of Blue Magic.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think for some reason I was expecting Cuba Gooding Jr. to eat it, or Nikki Barnes to eat it at some point, but he never does. And I thought maybe at the end he would be one of the folks that got caught up in the dragnet, but he doesn't. It doesn't show up, at least
I think this might be the last time we see him in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think he shows up at all anymore after that. But anyway, on their way home, Trupo stops Huey and Frank, and there happens to be a bunch of product in the trunk. And Frank warns Trupo that like the next time his house might be what blows up instead if they don't leave him alone. And then I think he notices Richie in the car like further back, and he sees that like somebody's following him, somebody else is following them. So as soon as he gets in the car, he just gets pissed at his brother and just wails at him.
Yep, gives him a good beating.
Yep.
As you do with your brother.
Yeah.
And so this next scene, I don't really understand how his buddy Joey is in or fits into everything. But Joey has Frank come over to the house, or Richie come over to the house, and showing him a picture of his family at a house in Aspen, and how they are apparently, I guess, celebrities are buying houses up in Aspen. And then while Richie is looking at the story at the photo, he tells Richie, "It's actually your house if you want it."
Yeah, and I couldn't tell if this was a bribe or a setup.
It was a bribe.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why Richie was pissed, because he was being bribed, because he was like, this guy Joey's telling him like, like you have to lay off Frank Lucas. And I think this is where Richie realized Frank Lucas was the big guy that he's looking for.
His friend, whoever this guy is, tells him straight up that it's So like this was probably, and this is not that big of a complaint, but I think this might be my biggest problem with the movie, is like it was just too easy of a way to let Richie know that Frank Lucas is the one who's in charge. Like he I think was starting to suspect it, and then this guy just confirmed it. And I don't know, it seemed a little bit like lazy script writing, but I'm really picking nits on that.
But I don't know, like, how is Joey? Like, I know that he's got a shady background. I love how he introduced him to the marvel of the microwave.
Yes.
By the way.
I was waiting for I thought it was maybe Chekhov's microwave and it was going to come back later, but it doesn't.
Right. But yeah, I wish I knew what Joey did, or what family he was in, that that Frank Lucas was able to get to him and send that bribe over somehow.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, he was an established character. He's been in a few scenes before. So it's not like, suddenly this new character shows up and tells him who's in charge, because that would have been really bad.
I like the bit with the microwave, though. Every time you get a bit like that in this movie, I always keep expecting to hear like some other like era adjacent thing popping up, like, "Oh, have you heard the new Bob Dylan album, Blood on the Tracks? It's its best record yet," or something like that. That's like, they're very careful about threading that line of conscious, like, era defining hallmarks, and then being too self-aware. Like, they're very good about threading that line, because if they were too self-aware about it, it would just come off as parody.
Yeah.
And everyone's living in the time, and that scene kind of shows how well they handle those issues.
Yep. Richie ends up in divorce court, and Lori gives him a blistering speech about how he thinks that he's just that just because he's honest, he's gonna go to heaven. And she tells him, like, "No, dude, you are just as bad as the crooked cops, because you lie to everyone else, even though you try to hold yourself all as like this super honorable super cop and stuff." And then he realizes that she's right, and gives her custody of the kids, and then apologizes to the court for wasting their time. which I guess he doesn't have kids, so
Right.
I guess this
It's
scene
all
didn't
made up for
happen
the
in real
movie.
life.
Again, I don't know if we needed this scene. It was fine though.
Yeah,
That does feel like where the bloat is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I understand wanting
Yeah.
to try to create some drama for this character outside of his drug dealing, issues that he has to deal with, but I don't know if that necessarily means they have to make up a whole scenario that isn't there simply to give him a crisis of conscience that makes him break down. Like, they could have done that a different way, I think.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess it's Christmas and they're getting takeout food. I guess everybody's celebrating. They're getting Frank and Ava are getting some takeout food or stopping for some takeout food, and then somebody somebody attempts a hit on Frank.
Why did she want to wait in the car? They were like walking in and like, it was like she saw something or like,
I thought she was just cold.
oh, maybe.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to wait in the car. Yeah.
Because they would have been waiting in the store, and then she would have had to walk out again. And she was in a dress, looking all good. So, yeah. When they get home, everybody's pissed. Even Huey's like, if Nikki did this, if you just tell us the word whether or not Nikki did this or not, like we'll go over there and kill everybody. And Frank just tells them not to. And I think Ava packs up all of her bags and stuff and tries to get Frank to leave with her. And he basically just says, "I'm not running from anybody, and you're not going anywhere, and none of us are going anywhere." And nobody knows who hit Frank or who tried to basically kill Frank and get him out of there. But Trupo swings by the task force headquarters and chats with Richie about how they need to coordinate better because they can't let anything happen to Frank Lucas.
Got to keep milking that cash cow.
Yeah. And I think Richie knows what Trupo is trying to do because he ends up giving him the same speech that Trupo gave him, which is, call ahead next time so that we know before you come over.
It was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good scene. Even this scene with this really short scene where Dominic Katana and Frank Lucas are talking, and he has no idea who tried to shoot at Frank, and Dominic's basically trying to say like, "Hey, you're a successful dude. You've got haters. That's just what happens."
Can confirm.
Right. So while all this is happening, I think across a number of, I liked how like while all of this is happening, you've got like the news in the background every once in a while, and in the back, it's been gradually building through a few scenes, but the U.S. is basically getting booted from Vietnam and is about to leave. And what do you call it? Everyone's going home. Frank ends up calling his cousin, and he's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Well, everything's over. Like we have to, everybody's moving and everyone's getting out of here, so I can't keep doing this." And so Frank tries to arrange for 200 keys of product to get in the air as soon as possible. And his cousin tells him it is not possible given the logistics of everything right now. But Frank decides to head out and visit the general over in Bangkok himself. Meanwhile, Huey's drunk ass, I guess Frank's drunk ass cousin also shoots his girlfriend, and the task force happens to be watching him, and they establish that, hey, they've found their weak link. And there's a bunch of like, I guess, quick scenes that just go back and forth here. And you've got the general telling Frank that like, hey, the opium plants are going to be fine. And he's like, you really should just quit while you're ahead. Because now that the military is gone, like, how are you going to get the product into the United States? And Frank says not to worry about it. He calls ahead to Huey to let him know that a shipment is coming in. But what Huey doesn't know is that his brother or his driver cousin thing is wearing a wire and is recording their conversation.
The size of that wire, which I'm sure is accurate.
It's so huge, right?
And they have like these two little strips of tape. Like the way that guy is sweating, there's no way that tape's going to hold that in place.
No.
I mean, how did it even like spin? Like there's two reels spinning. Right. How do you not hear that?
It reminds me of a very funny joke from With Bob and David, where it starts up and like two of the main cast members are walking into the studio with like a suit on, and they're like, "Man, it took us like half an hour to get mic'd up. What is going on around here anymore?" sorry.
No, that's okay. I need to rewatch that series because I was a Mr. Show fan. So
it has highlights.
yeah. I did have a producer Dean note here that his cousin did actually flip on him in real life. So that part's true.
Because he put him through the ringer with a piano.
Was that the same cousin?
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
Same cousin.
Yeah. I don't know about that part.
So yeah, the military plane is greeted by Richie and his task force while Trupo and his buds execute a no-knock warrant on the Lucas family home. I don't know if it happened exactly on the same day at the same time, but it's just bad luck, I guess, for the Franks, the Frank Lucas's family, because Trupo is looking for Frank's getaway money. I guess Trupo found out about the task force hitting the military base or the military plane. But Trupo finds the money in the doghouse after he shoots Frank's dog.
Yeah, I don't know if we needed him to shoot the dog. We knew he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
In real life, Frank Lucas never buried money, by the way. Thank you, producer Dean. Yeah.
That's kind of fucking lame. Damn. Be crazy about it. Go all in.
So he did have all his money in bank accounts and
I guess, yeah.
So. Okay.
PO boxes, maybe, or lock boxes. What's it called at the bank?
Yeah. Lock
security boxes, maybe.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
The what do you call it? Just as Richie is opening a body bag, the attorney general stops him because he's super pissed that they are basically, like, everybody knows that they hit up the military plane, and he's pissed because the investigation basically seems to be saying that the military itself is part of the reason why the drug problem is as big as it is. What he doesn't know is that the rest of the task force followed the coffins over to a warehouse, and T.I. and his buddies come, and everybody recognized, I think one of them recognized Stevie Lucas while he was over there, and they follow. I mean, I guess it's the beginning of the end. Basically, they follow T.I. and his and the folks over to the drug house, and they start calling in for a warrant so that they can raid the place.
So I missed if they actually found drugs in the coffins, because I honestly did not know whether or not they were going to. Somehow I missed it.
They didn't.
Okay, that's weird, because when I was looking into if this happened or not, doing the producer Dean research, they apparently did find drugs in the coffins in real life.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was pretty sure I'd heard that was a real thing, like a couple of times. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. In the movie, they needed a reason to have the raid, because the raid was a pretty intense scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene. I like that.
So they didn't find in the movie they don't find the false bottom that was stashing all the drugs.
Not that I recall. No.
Yeah. So Stevie Lucas and his buddies they're in that van. The task force follows them. The task force finds out that that their operation is basically this apartment complex. They call in for the warrant. Once they get the warrant, everybody converges on the apartment and they raid it. It's a hella good raid scene.
It is too. I really like. There's some really cool scenes in there. One of the cops hits some gangster in the face with a sledgehammer, right? Like
in the back, I thought.
Okay, I thought he hit him in the face, but either way, that's pretty brutal.
Fucked up.
There's also a scene with Josh Brolin where he is just unhinged towards Denzel Washington's wife. God, I should have learned her name better. I'm so sorry, people.
I can't remember this many character names.
It's Ava. Yeah,
Ava. Okay.
His wife's name's Ava. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he like threatens Denzel's mom too. God, I should have learned her name better.
Yeah. Mama Lucas.
Yeah. Please, you're welcome to hate me, Internet. I don't make any fucking money doing this. It's okay.
That's because I haven't written the check yet. But there's the foot chase with Chiwetel, Huey, and
Huey.
Richie Roberts is chasing him. It comes pretty close to cribbing the Point Break chase scene. You know what I'm talking about?
God.
With Patrick Swayze.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, that's not a complaint really, but like that's all I could think of was that scene, which is one of the greatest foot chases ever put on film.
Mhm.
So I kind of wish that they had gone a little bit more ostentatious with it here, but like nobody threw a dog at somebody, for example.
Right. Yeah, so I don't know how everything pans out timing wise, but the editing makes it look like, well, the Frank Lucas and his mom and his wife end up going to church while the raid is happening, or it looks like they're doing it while the raid is happening. However it happens, the raid happens, and by the time church ends, they're walking out, and Richie is waiting outside for Frank. And the cops have all of the streets blocked off, and everybody's just looking at Frank, and he turns himself over to Richie. I guess simultaneously, all the brothers are getting tagged, like one after another, at their places of business.
Frank kind of asked for it, in a lot of ways.
I feel like you got to know, like when that's your business, you got to know that your time is limited, and at some point you're either going to be killed or arrested.
Yeah, I feel like Frank, being an associate of Bumpy, gave him an enlarged head in a certain way. Because I don't think Bumpy was the criminal enterprise that he's doing in the same way. Like, he saw like what he thought were flaws in Bumpy's empire, and he probably thought, oh, well, I can maximize this for earning potential, yada yada. But he also probably didn't think like, oh, Bumpy might not be doing this because it brings too much attention on him, yada yada.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess everything comes to this climax of them being in court and Richie's using his degree finally. But then they end up in this, I guess, a interrogation room having a conversation. And I think this is the first time that Frank and Richie are actually in the same room.
Yeah, I think so.
Or face to face. Which is like, I guess, is pretty interesting because they're just kind of the entire movie, they're on their own paths and they finally arrive at this room together. I think Frank tries to get out of it, but he realizes, I think somewhere in the back and forth, he realizes that Richie's not going to back down. There isn't going to be another car with $2 million in it that Richie's going to fall for and walk away with. So he decides to cut a deal, and he decides that, hey, I'm gonna turn on every motherfucker that I know about, because everybody pretty much is the reason why I am where I am. And so he decides he's gonna give Richie the whole enchilada. He's gonna give him the mafia, and he's gonna give him all the corrupt cops.
I thought he only gave him the corrupt cops.
No, I think they gave him. I think he mentioned that. What do you call it? Richie mentioned he wanted everybody, because Frank thought that he wanted all the dirt on the mafia and the mob bosses, like Dominic. But Richie explicitly said, like, no, I want everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you want your people too? And he was like, they're not my people.
Okay. I just remember Frank going, I want them cops. And I thought that that's all he gave them, but I could be wrong. Because I feel like if he had given them mafia names, then he's a dead man. Right? I mean, like, once word gets out that you ratted them out, not that he'd be safe necessarily for ratting out crooked cops, but
maybe I read it wrong then, or maybe I interpreted it wrong. But I thought he turned everybody in. I mean, I know for sure he did the cops.
Yeah, I have some note later. See if I can find it real quick. I don't see it, but I thought that I had read that he did in fact also turn in some gangsters, even though the movie said that he didn't, is what I remember reading, but I could be misremembering even that. I'm totally.
Wouldn't he have to turn in Dominic?
Source, huh?
Wouldn't he have to turn in Dominic Catano because that was his distribution?
Yeah, you would
guy.
think, but I don't know. Right? I just feel like he'd be smart enough not to, because I think that'd be a death sentence. But I don't know. Anyways, we can move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They kind of just end up seeing it. there's a bunch of montages of all the cops being rounded up, and it almost seems like they're good friends by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, they kind of are.
I hate to admit, but I kind of like some of the buddy cop action between Richie and his little associates. I really like, because I'm a musician, of course, this suckers me. I really like the scene where he's showing Richie the house, and his cop buddy is like, I used to be able to play the piano when I was a kid. Lost it over the years. Just that moment, is so subtle and full of character. I hate how much I like that. I don't want to like cops.
I don't remember that at all. Was that maybe that was in the extended cut?
I remember that.
Okay.
Maybe it's in the extended cut because there's like that whole little scene there. It's like, I don't know, maybe just a couple of minutes. It's not too long.
Yeah, they do a pretty good job of fleshing out the task force guys, like not too much, but just enough so that they're not like red shirts that happen to be in the background. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I really liked the conversation between Frank and Richie.
Yeah,
because
no, it was
they
good.
very clearly respect each other.
Yeah, well, and then so Richie defends Lucas later and gets the sentence reduced to 15 years.
Yep.
And then so in the end of the version I watched, it's the 15 years later, and Lucas gets let out of jail, and he just kind of looks around the city. It's obviously changed, and there's a really good Public Enemy song playing. Can't Trust It. But then I guess, I don't know, Robbie, do you want to explain the longer ending? If not, I looked it up and watched it, and I have some notes.
Oh, I forgot to say that Frank turns everybody in except Trupo, because Trupo ends up killing himself.
Yeah, it was a pretty good checkout. I like that. Tried to see if he could breathe through the top of his head.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could do like an amazing job explaining the differences. I didn't even realize.
It's just a longer ending. So like the same thing happens, but there's like 5 more minutes where Richie Roberts picks him up at the end. Like after he walks out, Richie Roberts shows up, buys him a latte, and then there's a couple of lines here where Richie says it's a fancy way of saying coffee with milk, and I was like, no, that'd be cafe au lait. A latte is espresso with steamed milk. So I'm being it's a fancy grape. And I remember him saying that it was $2.50. I was like, in what year? Because isn't this like 1991? Like that seems expensive for 1991, but it is New York City, so I don't know. But anyways, that aside, basically Lucas asked the question that everybody else watching the movie would, is like, what's he going to do now? Like, how's he going to live? And Richie doesn't help by pointing out how expensive everything is. But then he also says that he's not going to let him starve. And then there's like some young black kids, and I think that they recognize who Frank is and kind of pay him respect. I think I like the short ending better, like leaves it a little bit more open, but this was fine. It wasn't that much longer.
Okay, yeah. I actually thought we could have cut this whole scene out in a certain way, because I just felt like it. Well, yeah, okay, yeah. And anyways, like when I was watching it and I didn't know that I was watching an extended cut, I was thinking like, man, this is so buddy cop like stuff, and it feels like it doesn't. It feels like it doesn't have sincerity in the right way, and it feels more staged in a certain manner. Like the cut they do that goes into the credits, it feels like a comedy cut. Like it feels like you're going into like another sequel or something.
Exactly.
Soon,
That's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah,
it's a little weird, and I mean, I kind of find it funny in a certain manner, but yeah, I do think it's a little odd, and I'm not sure if I'm the biggest fan of it. I didn't bother to look up differences. I was just going to come in. I kind of had to watch it like in pieces too, because I'm doing other stuff. I don't necessarily have the time for 3 hours of TV a lot of the day. So yeah, I did think this was odd and a little like funny in a cheeky way. I didn't really understand it exactly, because I thought tonally it clashed with everything that the movie had been leading into, because the real like meat of this movie, right, isn't that these two are actually respectful buddies. The meat of this movie is that these two are intensely flawed patriarchal figures on different sides of the fence, of the social fence. So you get like you get like these two together just kind of having like a look at the 90s, and some rap kids come up and are like, yeah, that was the original Gangster. It feels weirdly like congratulatory.
Yeah.
Like it kind of made me laugh the first time I watched it, and I was realizing what was happening. I do like the way they subtly aged Denzel. He's like this age now, like
Mhm.
closer to this age now, and he doesn't really look much different. And I think it's kind of a nice contrast to see him like 20 years ago being aged up to now.
Yeah.
Did they age Russell Crowe too in the extended
A
cut?
little bit. They gave him like a Don Johnson jacket,
Yes.
and they gave him a little Jewish star there.
Yep,
Yeah, Star David. Yeah.
Which I didn't even realize that he was Jewish until that like super racist U.S. attorney called him the K word, the K-slur.
Yeah, that was something.
Right after dropping the N-word too, I was like, wow, this guy is something else.
I think that's one of the drawbacks of this movie. Sometimes it feels like our screenwriters are just using a little too much leeway to get away with doing naughty things.
I always question, especially when the screenwriters are white. I always question the use of the N-word in a movie like that. Because I'm like, are they just doing this because they can quote unquote get away with it? But I don't know.
We got Denzel and Common around. We can say that.
Right,
it's
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's probably how they were thinking
exactly.
when they were writing those scenes.
Right. And then if they got them to say it, then it's like, see, it's okay sometimes or whatever. Like, I don't know. I might be.
It's okay within historical context.
Yeah.
It's always okay within historical context.
Yeah, I might be reading into that too much, but that's always my concern there. So, if it's, a movie written and directed by a black man and they're dropping N-words left and right, hey, that's up to you. That's not my, that's not for me to say anything about.
The Quentin Tarantino episode.
Yeah, right.
Episode we're going to do is going to be really interesting then. I really want to hear what everyone says.
Yeah. I'll make sure to bring that up on each movie.
Did you feel that was a tasteful use of those words in the moment, George?
Tasteful use of
yeah. I was going to say, to your guys' point, there's never really a tasteful moment. But I will say that, I think what it did was it highlighted, because it was like the attorney general or whatever, it did highlight that, you've got this guy in a really high seat of power who very clearly hides what he really is to the general public, but with these other officers, he just doesn't give a fuck. To people that he considers minions, he just shows who he really is.
I agree, but I still don't think it was necessary. That guy was in the movie for 2 minutes. We didn't need to know what level of piece of shit that he was. Right.
Yeah. And it's something to where they can get away with it with a side character, and that doesn't seem as much of a thing that hangs in people's heads. Like Russell Crowe saying that, to someone would immediately make you start hating him.
Right.
You just immediately look at him like a monster. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I have a couple of last producer Dean notes here. In real life, Richie Roberts paid for one of Frank Lucas's sons to go to private school while Lucas was in jail, which is, pretty nice of him. And when Lucas got out of jail, he started a recreational facility for inner city kids with one of his daughters. And that's what he did. So he kind of stayed on the straight and narrow. From what I can find
okay. So he had his own Frank Lucas school for kids who can't read so well.
Yes. That's perfect.
But his wife went back to Puerto Rico, I thought.
Yes.
So I guess his daughter stayed, or their daughter.
I guess so, yeah.
Stayed in the U.S. I will say that your guys' discussion makes me glad I did not watch the extended cut.
We talked about it longer than the extended cut is, so don't worry. I guess that takes us to changes we'd like to have seen. I got to dig deep here. If I got to come up with some changes, I would have liked it better if Russell Crowe suspected that Frank Lucas was in charge. Some of his guys, or maybe the Ted Levine character, doubt him. And then he knows for sure when his buddy says it, instead of just kind of his buddy coming in and just saying it to him. It was too contrived, I thought. I think that's probably my biggest gripe. Other than that, maybe I could have used some more Carla Gugino in it. What about you guys?
Yep. You want me to go? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Trim 18 minutes from the movie.
Yeah, maybe. Like, maybe I need to watch this without those because, as this is for an extended cut, I was kind of thinking the whole time that there's some conflicting sentimentality between some characters. There's a certain amount of sentimentalizing to people who are obviously the worst of the possible worst criminals. These people aren't people having small Twitter spats or something. These people are just like pure killers, enslaving whole communities into the vices of an extremely deadly and narcotizing drug. But I also think maybe this was the last big stab at a really great gangster film that the public accepted. I mean, I think this movie did halfway well. I remember when I was growing up, it seemed to make the money that they kind of expected it to for being such a big production. And I think the performances are incredible, and I think they do have a few little points to bring up about the similarities in the criminal elements of the world and the way the police function as an extension of the criminal element of our world. Yeah. I'd give it a good, I don't know, 8, maybe an 8.5. Just it's pretty decent, but it's also a little bloated. I mean, it does know most of the right steps to get through the bloat. I think it does kind of have taste and subtlety generally, aside from a few tone deaf moments where they're a little intense with racial terms, and I I think maybe its nudity doesn't like, I feel like its nudity isn't necessarily the most plot forward thing, like, and you can talk a lot about sexuality and nudity in movies and how it's handled. This doesn't go extremely exploitative, but it does add nudity in as a color for the whole thing. Uh, yeah, I think it's pretty decent, good 8.5. I guess I would change, like, the 18 minutes you're talking about, because all those 18 minutes just bring in too much personal gum into things, and the stuff with Carlo Gugino and him having a kid that isn't real is like a level of sentimentalizing to make this an interesting character in the public that could have been completely handled different. It doesn't have to be like that. We don't have to have you creating a fake child so this cop looks more like a family man, like a more legitimate person. That's the underplaying of that. They're trying to make you look at the cop character as someone who's more respectable, because he's a family man on some level. And I just think that's horseshit, and, I hate all that stuff. I hate all that stuff. Show me this guy just being an unhinged fuck,
Mhm.
Cabinet fucking isn't that interesting. Like, show me him like at an actual orgy or something. If you're gonna play that fucking card, don't give me the sentimental fake family man crap. That rubs me raw. Like, that's like the worst way to do that. If you want to have that be a thing that you're going to do, then you should have a real string from his life that they could have pulled. They could have done some mother stuff with Russell Crowe if they had wanted to. They could have had a little relationship with him and his mom if they were alive or something. Just don't create a fake child to legitimize a police officer further. So that's my biggest fucking gripe about it. Sometimes it's just a little too kind to like bad people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they
And
got
still, you
Cuba
gave it a
Gooding Jr. in
8.5.
this thing. The conversations that must have happened at times. He's just not feeling great today. Don't worry about it. We'll get it tomorrow. Or, like that kind of shit. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm really glad I did not see the extended cut, because it really seemed to have jumped the shark there right after that Public Enemy song. But the regular cut like just I think ending at the Public Enemy song was like perfect. Yeah, cutting it down any further, I think I would get rid of the court scenes, like all the divorce stuff.
Yep.
Like I
Didn't need
think
it
to
at
your
all.
point, Robbie, I get what they were trying to do. They were trying to show this. They were trying to show Richie Roberts as like this sloppy, messy guy who doesn't have it anywhere near together, like Frank Lucas, and yet he's the good guy. I get that they were trying to do that, but still, I think that they could have done it in other ways. I also think they could have gotten rid of that Joey guy because I have no idea how he. I mean, I get that he was supposed to be the vehicle for uh, letting Richie know that Frank was the top dog,
Yeah.
and also to try to bribe Richie yet again and show that Richie is not bribable. But yeah, I thought that could have been done some other way without including this other guy, this other Joey guy.
Okay. That takes us to rating. And Robbie kind of already gave us his rating. You say 8.5.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Fucking up the order of my show here, man. I don't know.
God damn it, I can't do anything right.
No, that's fine. For me, this was a pretty great movie. I think it's some of Ridley Scott's best work. I think I was telling George this earlier. I think it's almost like a Tony Scott movie. Maybe not quite as action-packed as a Tony Scott movie might normally be, but
the line between Ridley and Tony is thin.
So I wish that Ridley Scott could have kept up this quality of work for Prometheus and Alien Covenant, which by the time this comes out, you will have heard us complain about plenty. So for me, it's interesting you said 8.5, Robbie. I gave it 8.7, so pretty close to the same.
Wow.
8.7 out of 10 keys of heroin is
that's what cutting off 18 minutes does.
You got
I
one,
guess.
George. Do you have a different unit, George?
No, I was gonna give it like 9 my mans.
Nice. Oh, I like that better. 9 my man. Yeah. My man's is better. Okay.
8.5. 8.5 packing person. Yeah.
So, and lastly, would you recommend it? Absolutely, I would.
Faux show.
My man, I'm definitely recommending it, for a few little spears, people who like old detective and cop movies on top of like gangster movies. It does pull off the trick of being half a like low down cop movie and a gangster movie. Like it really it's very good about handling its different tonal shifts. Even watching it in the extended cut, I do think it does a pretty damn good job of handling its tonal shift. Yeah, tonal shifts. Yeah, I would recommend it for a few good audiences. Admittedly, it's not like it doesn't have any insane progressive messaging, but it does do a little bit of patriarchal criticizing that's healthy.
Yeah, I agree. So recommend probably the theatrical cut though.
Yes.
Okay. Do you guys? So the recording time is 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's probably about 2 hours of actual episode time, and with editing, it's going to be a little under that. I'm happy to go, and I prepared a little quiz. Are you guys down for that, or do you have to go, Robbie?
I mean, I can. I'm not great when we do stuff like this. Like, man, on other shows,
it's
like
okay.
it feels
Neither
so
is George, so you're well matched here. So this is the Know Your Gangster quiz. It's all about gangsters in movies and TV shows. And so how it's going to work is I'm going to start naming gangster character names, and you need to guess the movie or the show. And the fewer names that you need, the more points you get. Are we clear on that?
Okay.
Okay. So do you just want to shout it out when you think you know it, or you want to shout out your name and then make a guess?
You just shout it out. It's fine.
All right.
I think it'd be funnier to shout my name. Robbie!
Robbie! Sometimes I insist on doing it that way. But okay, so first one, this one should be pretty easy. Fat Andy, Frankie the Wop, Frenchie, Johnny Roast Beef, Spider.
Casino?
Sorry, what?
Casino?
Not Casino.
No.
Spider, Paulie, Tommy.
Goodfellas.
It is Goodfellas. Very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I was blanking on that one. I was like the other one.
So that's 1 point for Robbie because the last
probably my favorite of the Martin Scorsese gangster
so
movies.
yeah, that is Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese, 1990.
Close second with Main Streets heading up.
Ooh, I don't think I've seen that.
Oh,
Mean
you got it.
Streets.
It's quintessential early Scorsese.
Okay. Well, you know that is not one of the answers on this quiz then. Numero 2. This one's maybe a little bit harder. I have fewer names for this one too, so I might go a little slower. Monster, Dookie, Yo-Yo, Trey, and Doughboy.
The Wire?
Not The Wire. Good guess though. Monster, Dookie, Yo-Yo, Trey, and Doughboy.
Shit, Entourage?
Great guess. It's
okay.
by director John Singleton from 1991.
Menace to Society?
Good guess. It's not that.
I feel like I should know this, but
Boys in the Hood?
It's Boys in the Hood.
Okay.
All right. 1 point for George. Third one. This one's probably too easy. Joe, Nice Guy Eddie.
Reservoir Dogs.
It is Reservoir Dogs. Very good. So that's 4 points on that one because I was like, the rest of them I'm going to read really fast, but shout out. Because like Mr. Brown, Mr. Blue. But that you would have got it right away. So really, that was good. Question 4, probably medium difficulty on this one. Jimmy Spoils, Killeran, Shang, McGloin, Monk, Happy, Boss, and Bill the Butcher. That should be the dead giveaway right there.
Pulp Fiction?
No, that's a good guess. It's a Scorsese movie. We actually mentioned it before because it was
Casino?
Same writer. Not Casino.
The Irishman.
No, that's another good guess.
Okay.
Gangs of New York.
Oh,
Bill the Butcher. Gangs of New York.
God, I never think about that movie for some reason.
I mean,
I know it's
I haven't watched
good,
it yet.
but like it never comes up in my head.
Yeah, like it's a good movie,
Yeah.
but I usually don't. I only thought of it because I was like, what movies have gangs in them? Oh, Gangs of New York. So
Yeah, I wouldn't type that specifically into Google. You might come across a few things you're not expecting.
I'm on a list now. Shit. So number 5. This is another easy one. Dookie, Bodie, Wallace,
Oh.
Weebay,
Damn it.
Marlo Stanfield, George Stein.
Wait, it's not Point Break?
It's not, no. Slim Charles. You said this one earlier, and we're wrong. Omar.
Casino.
Casino?
Stringer Bell. Avon.
Oh, The Wire.
The Wire. There you go. One point for that one.
What's your favorite part of The Wire? The or The Wire?
I was waiting for you to start whipping those out.
Partial to the myself.
So number 6, medium hard. Richie, Nikki, Lucky, Big Trin, Sunny Red, Sunny Black, Left Ruggiero, Joe Pistone.
Is it Crossroads?
No, I don't
Britney
even
Spears
know.
and Crossing It. It's not Britney Spears and Crossing It.
Great guess though. Donnie
Not The
Brasco.
Sopranos? Oh, Donnie Brasco.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie front to back in my entire life.
I
That's
did
one of
one
those
time.
movies.
Yeah.
That's one of those movies on cable. I'd always catch it like right at the beginning, but then I had to leave, or I'd catch it right at the end, but then I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want to spoil the ending without seeing it all the way through.
Okay, let's see. Another medium difficulty on this one. Boris the Blade, Doug the Head, Bullet Tooth Tony, Four Fingers.
8 heads in a duffel bag?
No, good guess though.
Okay.
Mickey O'Neill, Tommy, Turkish, and Bricktop.
You mentioned it earlier.
I don't
The
think you
one
did.
with dang it.
Guy Ritchie movie from 2000.
Lock, Stock,
Oh,
and
wait,
Two
never mind.
Smoking Barrels.
Not that one, the other one.
Fucking hell.
Snatch.
Oh,
All right.
Okay, so I have never seen that movie because that name,
I've never watched
fucking
it either.
hate that name. I've always hated that name. Even as a dumb kid that didn't understand the innuendo, I was like,
It's a
it just
little
doesn't
crude.
sa-
It's a
it
little
doesn't
crude.
sound like a good name for a movie.
I don't think they once say the word in the movie, but
Really?
I don't think so.
Well, that just pisses me off. I'm a modern viewer and I need them to say the name of the movie in the movie or it's not a movie.
As long as it fits in the movie, it's fine. I hate it when they really shoehorn it in there.
That's why the Han Solo movie was the best of the Star Wars movies.
So the penultimate question here, this one's pretty easy in my opinion, although I think I may have thought some of these were easier than they were. Guillermo Beltran, Juan Lozano, Kern Little.
Mariachi?
No, good guess. I'll give you a hint. This is a TV show. Moses.
Oh.
The Sopranos?
Nope. Margos Dazarian. Rondell Robinson. Antoine Mitchell.
Narcos?
George should know this one by now. Armadillo Quintero.
I'm blanking.
Yeah, I'm blanking on this too. I don't know what the hell this
It's
is.
The Shield.
Oh,
Okay. I've never seen a day. I've never seen a minute of that in my life.
That's a good show.
That was boring stuff when I was growing up. I got cartoons to watch. I'm sorry.
That's right. I keep forgetting you're so much younger. Well,
Yeah, I'm 33 and I wish I wasn't.
you should watch it now. It's a good show. All right. Last one. Probably the hardest one. So good luck.
oh no.
Joe Borelli, Finn, Stevie McGuire, Jackie, and Frankie Flannery. And I'll give you some stars of the who stars in it. Sean Penn, Ed Harris, Gary Oldman,
Gangster Squad,
Robin Wright, John Turturro, and John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly.
Yep.
Oh.
Can you guys think? Sean Penn, Gary Oldman, and John C. Reilly should give it away. And
the
Robin
bullet
Wright
on this damn thing.
You probably haven't seen it. State of Grace.
Oh,
it's about
definitely
the
have
Irish
not seen
mob
That's a
in
movie?
New York City. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Wow.
You guys should check that out. I gotta make these not so hard.
Okay.
Well, Robbie's the big winner there with 5 points, and George has 2.
Hey, there you go.
Pretty respectable. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate. There are a lot of people who don't know when moments are building up in their life that they will never get back, and I'm thankful for all of you here that made me the crime knowledge haver that I am today.
Okay, so one more thing before we hit the outro. We got my next pick. There's no way either one of you would guess this movie. So I think I'm gonna tell you the movie, and then I want you to see if you can guess the connection to either the MCU or the ABPCU stuff. So my next pick,
Say that 5 times fast. I'm sorry.
I say it all the time. My next pick is Pink Floyd's Live in Pompeii. So it's like a music documentary, which I'll explain why in a minute. But can you guess the connection there to either the MCU or AVPCU?
Is that a director connection?
No, that'd be interesting though.
God damn it!
Pink Floyd wasn't an MCU movie.
A song was.
Okay. Did they set the controls for the Heart of the Sun and put it in an MCU movie?
No, but that would have been great. So in the Eternals, not the very beginning, but near the beginning, the song Time is used.
Oh, okay. I wasn't watching that one.
I know. Well, this is more for George. Sorry. And supposedly Interstellar Overdrive is in the Doctor Strange movie, but it is. It is? Okay.
I think it is, but it's also like a thing where I don't think it's too apparent. Like I think it feels more like just a guitar riff in a different context.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to watch the whole movie just to try to find it, but I was like doing a Google search and couldn't come up with it. So anyways, I picked that. I don't expect to have a whole lot to say on that movie. It's only like an hour long, I think, and like 10 songs or something like that, 11 songs with some stuff cut in between. But again, I didn't think I was going to have a lot to say on this one either, and we talked plenty about it. So I think it's likely going to be a short episode, and that's by design because I need a short episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So George, I can send you a link to watch it on YouTube. The full thing is on YouTube. Remind me,
okay.
I will send you a link. And
right.
We're going to have Phoebe guest star on that one because she's one of the only other people I know of who is interested in covering it.
Has she watched it already? Or?
No, but she really likes The Wall, and I've heard her talk about Pink Floyd a lot. And so I was like, hey, have you seen this? And then like we were just chatting about it. And I was like, hey, actually, I think I might use that as a pick because it'll be relatively easy to cover, I think. But hopefully I'm not wrong on that.
I used to be a bit of a Pink Floyd fan, but then when I like found out like all the stuff about Syd Barrett and how he was treated in that band, I remember at one point in high school just like picking up like a copy of Dark Side of the Moon or something I had on CD and just thinking, God, I fucking hate post Syd Barrett at Pink Floyd.
So
and just throwing it at the wall. Like I was just so angry.
He was the guy like Ummagumma and
no, he's the one that actually like wrote all their first album, and he was falling apart. Like, but I was a dumb teenager then. I just really liked his songwriting, and he did give them the basis for what they would eventually do later on, and just they kind of like watered down some of his ideas, and it made them a little more singer songwriter. They were able to capitalize on it in a very satisfactory way. And David Gilmour is an incredible guitar player.
Yeah.
And the replacement on guitar, I'll never look back down on David Gilmour. I mean, he's a beautiful guitar player. Like everything he does is about a certain beauty. Like he wants a certain sound, and he'll take a long time to craft it.
Do you want to be on that episode too? I mean, we can do it.
Okay.
I forget when it is exactly. I can get, if you want to say no or yes or maybe or whatever.
I just kind of need to know when it is so I can think about it.
For a couple of months, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, that might help.
Yeah, I want to finish up the AVPCU and then then I think we do that one, and then we got some other stuff planned before we start another series.
Okay. So yeah, that's cool. I'm going to have Phoebe on my show Friday.
Nice.
And we're going to be covering the anime OVA Gunsmith Cats.
Sweet.
Oh,
well, this is
it's so fun.
This is and 1 second. This is a perfect segue because I'm just about to get into the plugs. So that's it for American Gangster. We should be returning to the AVPCU series with The Predator, unfortunately, from September 14th, 2018. Robbie, I want to thank you again for joining. This was great, and I think you really added a lot to the discussion here. Where can people find you?
Right now, they can find me on Spotify and Anchor, and I'm slowly working things onto the Internet Archive. I want to have my stuff all for free, and people can just take it and they can put it in their ears for free all the time, and they can let me massage inside their ears all the time, all the vibrations of my voice, talking about pop culture, talking about anime and cartoons. We'll be doing Gunsmith Cats with Phoebe. We're going to be recording that Friday. I don't know when that's going to be coming out, but your episode is probably going to be the next one, Zach.
Nice.
We talked about all the Clayface episodes of the BTAS run, and that's going to be a hoot, and I'm looking forward to everything that's going on with that.
All right. I'll make sure that there's a link to your show and any other links you want, like socials, whatever. I'll get in touch with you and ask you what exactly you want included. You can find me here, obviously, and soon to be on Robbie's show. And I've been co-hosting Retro Game Club quite a bit, as well as doing a few things on Games My Mom Found recently. The 2001 episode is available now, which that was great. I think that's one of my top 2 movies, and I listened back to it because I do quality control. I listened back to it, and I was like, man, I just loved talking about that movie. So that's really something I'm very proud of. And more recently recorded an episode on Darkman, which you were on that too, Robbie, right?
That was so fucking balling to be able to go back to Darkman. Right? Yeah.
And let's see, I got that one speaking part on an episode of Jack Billings Presents. And George, you can email us at absolutelythebestpodcast@gmail.com. You can join our Discord. There's a link in the show notes, where we also have some links to our socials and a couple of ways that you can help support the show. Please leave us a review and help us spread the word. Tell your friends, tell an American, and tell a gangster. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
My man.
All right, you beat me to it, Robbie.
Absolutely the Best Podcast is a production of Audio Johnny, a subsidy of Corporation Johnny. Corporation Johnny. If it exists, we own it.
I didn't really have anything planned for after show stuff because I figured this might go long, and we're getting close to it getting long.
Fine.
But
I'll send you stuff within so much time.
Yeah,
probably.
I won't get to editing right away, but
I kind of had a proposition that popped in my head for you guys.
Okay,
would you two like to talk about the '90s Fantastic Four cartoon?
With me? That's interesting. I haven't seen it, but I could maybe, depending on when.
Yeah. I mean, just whenever is flexible. Okay. I'm going to be talking about the first episode of that features Daredevil with my friend Matt Spectro in a couple of days. So maybe we can find another little thing that if you just want to talk about a specific episode or two, that's definitely all, something. That's all I wanted to do.
Let me know which ones and when. And
cool beans.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Okay. Fun, gentlemen.
Is it on YouTube or something, or?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you can find it pretty easily through some kind of, maybe Disney Plus. It's a Disney Plus owned show now. Yeah. So it's been a pleasure. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask real quick if you guys, I think George did. You guys saw the Clayface trailer, right?
Yeah.
I've been avoiding it. I don't want to see any of it.
We won't talk about it then.
I was looking through my phone on stuff earlier, and then I saw some article about it, and I just immediately threw my phone down my bed and put my hands under my bed no.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I will probably go on a Clayface information embargo from this point forward. But yeah. Okay.
I'll try not to bug you guys on Discord with information on it.
All right. This has been a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, Robbie. Right. Thanks, George. Talk to you guys later.
Bye, guys.
Right before we get to that montage, there's a little talk with Denzel and an accountant-like type of guy. I'm pretty sure this actor plays Kingpin's aide in the new Daredevil season. He's just 20 years younger and, a lot thinner. Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah. So,
this new Born Again season.
It's good.
It's so good.
It's fucking ball, and it's exactly what I need.
Yeah. It's not the finale hasn't come out yet, right? Because I just saw the one with
episode
Jessica
6.
Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was glad to see her return. That was great. I was not happy to see Foggy come back in a flashback.
In a flashbacks.
When does
really just don't like Foggy?
I don't like that actor. I'm sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sorry.
When does the Punisher come back in is what I'm waiting for.
Ooh,
he's always around the corner.
When this is over, when this season is over, I think that's when that Punisher special comes out.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and he's going to be part of the new Spider-Man movie in some way. Maybe a little way, but maybe not.
It looks a little goofy. I don't know. We'll see.
That made me happy seeing him.
The Punisher has always been a little goofy. I mean, they can't make this weird, military man not seem extremely goofy in this day and age.
I'll try to accept that.
I'm hoping they play it off. I mean, John Bernthal is such a great Punisher, man. I think he was definitely born to play this guy. Anyway, we'll get to that when we get to Spider-Man. While boning his lawyer, Richie gets a call that he has to go to the morgue to identify his ex-partner.
I admire your capability of hitting the world's smallest vaporizer between sentences. It's impressive.
The what?
The world's smallest vaporizer. I mean,
He's making a joke
are
about how
you-
much you're coughing.
Yeah, sorry.
Are you okay? I'm sorry. One more time because it's just too goddamn funny. Are you hitting real THC or is that like that CBD shit? You know, it's cool
Oh.
if you want it lighter. I get it. It's not. You don't have to feel bad. I'm not like.
Oh, this is a mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So you're taking the whole hog, is what you're saying.
Yes.